Hello and welcome to Volva. My name is Andrea, and in this video I wanted to explain the difference between a horticulturist, a gardener and a landscaper. Now you might be thinking, what difference does that make to you? It's all the same, I just need somebody to come and help me do my garden. But I'm going to explain the difference between the three of them because it's actually important when you're looking for a person to get the right person for you. So at this time of year, I see a lot of posts on social media for people looking for somebody to come and tidy the garden and all that kind of thing. But a lot of the time the posts are quite vague because I don't think people really know who they're looking for and what needs done in their garden. So hopefully this video is going to explain a wee bit about that, and it's going to be a wee bit more helpful about that. So first of all, a horticulturist is generally somebody who has went through an academic process, an academic course in further education, university, college, and has successfully completed all the outcomes and all the things required of the course to be certificated in horticulture. Now, as an ex-lecturer of horticulture and further education, I can tell you that quite a lot of horticulture students that are certificated at the end of that process are not gardeners. Some of them actually come in with a little bit of gardening experience, but a lot of students don't really know very much about gardening, even though they're certificated horticulturists. It all really depends on the person and their experience. So an academic process means that they have to hit certain points throughout that education to gain the certificate. Now, how experienced that person is in growing and gardening is actually quite dependent on the facilities of the educational establishment. So if the facilities are good for sowing and planting and things like that, then that's great. But actually the experience is limited to what the facilities are within the further education. So that doesn't necessarily mean that a certificated horticulturist is a good gardener. It just means that they've passed a horticulture course, an academic horticulture course. So what is a gardener? So a gardener is somebody who has hands-on experience of working with plants. So horticulture is the science of growing, and gardening is the hands-on application of working with plants and experience of working with plants. So that is really invaluable because, and I think most gardeners will tell you that actually they feel like they've maybe got some experience, but the plant world is so vast that you just can't learn everything. I mean, it's one of my greatest frustrations that I could live another 10 lives over and I will never know everything about the plant world. So gardening, experience in gardening is a lifelong learning experience. Like you're learning as you go because you're working with the plants. You can see how they respond in certain areas, what's best for certain sites, all those kind of things. The experience really does matter. So it doesn't necessarily mean that a horticulturist has got the experience that you need for your garden, but a gardener probably does, especially one that's got quite a lot of experience in that way. So a horticulturist doesn't mean a gardener. At the same token, an experienced gardener can be a horticulturist if they've actually had some gardening experience and went and done the certification. So like myself, basically I've been gardening for 30 plus years and I went to do the horticulture courses and garden design courses over a few years, certificated as a horticulturist at the end of it. But I'm also experienced gardener, and that's the thing that really matters. If you want to learn more about plants, that's who you're looking for. You're looking for an experienced gardener. If you want somebody to come and maintain some shrubs and perennials, plant things for you, maintain your flower beds, you want an experienced gardener. If you're looking for somebody to give you some advice about the topography of your site, the soil types that you have, design ideas, assessing the site and measuring, a horticulturist is probably a good idea. But for somebody to maintain and help guide you in plants, an experienced gardener. So at the risk of confusion, there's also landscapers. So there's two different types of landscaping. There's soft landscaping and hard landscaping. Now, soft landscaping is plants. That's basically what soft landscaping is. And hard landscaping is things like what you would construct in an outdoor space. So things like fences, slabbing, cement or concrete bases for sheds, building in an outdoor space. That's hard landscaping. So most often soft landscapers are the guys that you see rolling up in the big truck, bringing the petrol mower out and the big hedge trimmers, and they come and they get the lawn done and stuff like that in 10 minutes. So they're generally class themselves as landscaping services. And if you're looking for somebody to cut your lawn and trim the hedges, that's good. Pick a reputable one. I'll tell you why in a second. That's what you're looking for. If you're just looking for your grass to get cut and your hedges to be trimmed, that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for somebody to be able to prune existing shrubs and take care of perennials, plant some plants for you, maintain flower borders, things like that, an experienced gardener is what you're after. So I would say that essentially, so I think this is really actually important because it helps you find who you're looking for and what you need. So a few years ago, I was contacted by an elderly lady who lived on her own, who wasn't very well, and she had a very established garden. So she'd been in the house and, nearly 40 years, and she had worked so hard on that garden. You could tell it was 40 years worth of devotion to plants in the garden. And she contacted a landscaping service, and the guy came and took a chainsaw and just cut all the shrubs and everything down. Now, that's not how you maintain shrubs in an established garden. It was such a shame. So that's why it's so important to be able to find the person that that you need for your own needs. So for shrubs and things like that, you need an experienced gardener. So I think most experienced gardener with hands-on experience of plants wouldn't necessarily class themselves as experts in that way. And I would say that it's probably about the same for myself. I think probably in the scheme of horticulture and gardening, yes, I am an expert, but most experienced gardeners have a sense of humility because the plant world is so vast that you could live 10 lives over and never learn everything about it, even as practical hands-on experience. It's one of my greatest frustrations, to be honest, and that I'll never know everything about the plant world. So you just can't. You just don't have time in one life. So I hope that this is actually quite helpful for you, that to find the right person for you and for your outdoor space.